In this video, what I'm going to discuss is whether or not you should be dating while you're in nursing school. Now, spoiler alert, my direct answer is that I believe you should not be dating while you're in nursing school unless you're already coming into a nursing program with obviously if you're married or if you already have like an established long-term relationship. Hey, this is Thomas from NurseMoneyTalk. Now, let's talk about dating in nursing school. And if you've already watched, if you obviously saw the intro, then you'll see that actually my standpoint is very direct in that I don't really think you should be dating while you're in nursing school. Now, the obvious exception to this will be if you're married. Obviously, that's that's something completely different. Dating and being married, I don't think are the same thing anyway. But and the other thing would be if you already are going into the program with like an established relationship. So there's already somebody you're dating. There's already somebody you've been dating for a couple years or whatever. I think that is clearly different as well. And I'm going to talk about why that is different at the end of this video. But before I get into the meat of this video, I want to go ahead and invite you to, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button because it really does help us in terms of making sure the YouTube algorithm gets this video in front of more people. The other thing I'll mention as well is that if you are in nursing school or you're about to be in nursing school and you're looking for, if you will, kind of like a supplement or a course or something to help you in your nursing education, two things I'll tell you is that you can go to nursemoneytalk.com/tutor to find a tutor to help you for any tough subjects you might have in nursing school. And also you can go to nursemoneytalk.com/nursing student academy. Link to that will be in the description below. You can go to that link to find more info on that. So let's go ahead and get started. Dating in nursing school. Yeah, I honestly don't think I really don't think dating in nursing school, if you can help it, is going to be like beneficial to you. And in some instances, I'm not sure it's going to be beneficial to the other person. For this video, I'm going to be focusing specifically on you as the student and why I think you should probably wait until afterwards. Before I even get into my list of reasons, you might be wondering about me. Did I date in nursing school? Yes, I did. I went through, there was a portion I didn't date. There was a portion that I did have a relationship. And then there was a portion that I was actively dating as well. Along with the fact that I did go back for, try to get my, my graduate degree in nursing while I was married. So I do have experiences across kind of like the field of it. And so with that said, the first reason why I think not dating in nursing school is beneficial is that it is emotionally draining. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. It's like you get into a fight, you get into a huge debate, whatever you want to call it. Those are everything that is just emotionally pulling on you. And one of the things I learned is that, when I was in school is that, relationships can push your, they swing your emotions, and then based on where your emotions are swinging, that can affect like your concentration in class. That can affect like how well you do on an exam. And it's not just for me necessarily. I mean, I've seen it in classmates in all my years of schooling. And here's the other thing. It's like, I've seen this happen. I've had some of this happen to me as well. It's like, what do you do if you get into a huge fight right before an exam, right before finals? What about, you break up right before an exam or right before finals? It's hard. It's hard, and depending on how you handle things emotionally, and this is where you have to be upfront with yourself on that. If you are the type of person who you have can have wild emotional swings or something like that, could just kind of swing you into high or low extremes, and that's really something to kind of keep in mind. The second thing is that it is financially draining. It's financially draining in a lot of different ways. Going on dates is expensive. Now, whether, wherever you fall on that field of does the guy always pay for it? Is it split halfway? Whether or not, if you're listening to this, you're the guy, or you're the girl, whatever. I mean, none of that really, I think in the long term really matters, because in one way, shape or form, I think a relationship can in a way be financially draining. If you're not paying for activities, you could be paying for car rides or, driving, from here to wherever they live. You could be, maybe, you're not working as much as you could have, because, you want to make time for them. And that gets me to my third point, which is that dating takes up a lot of time. And honestly, it should take up a lot of time. The argument, by me stating that, I'm not saying that it shouldn't take up a lot of time. I think rightfully it should take up a lot of time. And the issue with that is that you potentially are in a point in your life, if you will, in your schooling career, if you will, where your time, you might not have that much time to be able to give. Like I already mentioned before, maybe you're working, maybe you're working X number of hours. I've already talked before about, how I was, working, full-time hours going through nursing school. Maybe you're losing hours in terms of driving to and from where they live, depending on, maybe they could live in the same city and could easily waste 30 plus minutes just driving over there, and then, another, whatever, 30 minutes driving back or something like that. It's just a drain in terms of time. And then, you have to think about it this way. Nursing school is still gonna have its minimum level of requirements. You're gonna have lectures. You're gonna have clinical hours. You're gonna need, even if you are a whiz at, you don't have to do a whole lot of studying, you're gonna be doing care plans. All of those require a minimum level of hours just to get those done. And I think dating makes it hard. Because I know for me, I was, when I was in nursing school then and I was dating, I was always constantly kind of struggling, trying to juggle between, work, school, and then make sure I have, time for the person who I'm dating. And it just there were times where I would just feel really stressed about it, or, the other person is complaining. The person I was dating was complaining about how come you don't have, how come we're not spending, X amount of time together or something like that. Trying to explain to them that, I have stuff to, that I have to do. And the thing about it is even in instances where, beforehand, we would talk about it, be like, hey, I'm in school, nursing school, blah, 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 I'm going to need there's just going to be a lot of time required for me to finish this course and pass or do, whatever. And then they would say, oh, yeah, I understand completely. They say they do, but I think they never really quite do. And I think this could be for a lot of reasons. So if you are going to school when you're older and you're dating somebody who is out of school, then they have a lot of time to kill, or easily they forgot how much time school actually takes. And so when they hear, oh, this, it's gonna, this is going to take up a lot of time. That's all very kind of relative. You see what I'm saying? I mean, what's a lot of time to somebody might not be the same for the other person. So that's something to keep in mind. And the other thing is, like, I think people have, you might be dating somebody who is in, if they're in school, they're in a school for another degree, or maybe they graduated with another degree that isn't as time intensive as a nursing degree. This isn't necessarily saying anything wrong about, the career path they're on or what degree program they're on. This is just the fact of the matter that different programs generally are going to require different levels of hours of dedication for school, and to get coursework done. So it was just seemed like it was kind of like a thing an issue that I ran across several times. And I would imagine for many of you, it's an issue that you're probably going to run across yourself. The fourth point that I want to mention is that a relationship can be mentally draining. I kind of separated them out, but in a lot of ways, the emotional and mental drain, I think, really go hand in hand. Because it's like, you're in class, you're supposed to be studying, listening to a lecture on, on cardiac issues or whatever. But what are you thinking about? But you're thinking about that big fight that you had, or, so-and-so is mad at you, what am I going to do so they're not mad at me? Or maybe you live together, so it's like, I'm going to have to see them again tonight. Like, oh my goodness, like, this is never going to end. We're just going to go back into that same fight that we had, this morning or last night. All of those things just kind of comes together, and it just makes it very, very draining for you, especially in a program that is going to be very draining for you in and of itself. So if you're listening to this and you're just thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, like, he's making it seem like this, dating's like the worst thing ever. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that there's challenges to, there's always going to be challenges to any relationship. It's just like, I just question how much bandwidth you're going to have while you're in nursing school, or better yet, even if you could do it, would you be better off just waiting until afterwards? You see what I'm saying? If you're at a point where you're either you're already dating somebody and you're in a long-term committed relationship, or you're saying to heck with, what I just said previously, or what I just said in this video, then make sure you watch this next video that you'll see that'll show up over here to my left. And in that video, I'm gonna go through some of the ways that I think you can help kind of manage a relationship, a romantic relationship, I should say, during nursing school. And then while I'm at it as well, I'm actually gonna list some pros. Exactly. I mean, because there are some pros to dating, if you will, in nursing school if it works out. So make sure to check out that video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you very soon in that next video.